Hey, we got one of them ones. We got one of those ones. He's the real deal. Blue Empire, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But let's talk. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cam, and I'm here with you today because we gonna go over that masterpiece that we just watched. Champions League nights, back at the bridge after a while away, and you see it. Excuse my monitor. It's kind of, we're not gonna talk about what's going on with my monitor, but you see that right there, big bad Barcelona and us, them boys in blue. And let me tell you something, them boys, week by week, are becoming men, for sure. And our youngest one, he's the one. And not to mention that our one that we got already, he's not even in the team. He's not even fit. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what this team is going to do when my man comes back? When Mr. Ice Cold comes back? Come on now. All right, so Chelsea 3, Barcelona 0. Chelsea 3, Barcelona 0. Chelsea 3, Barcelona love. It don't matter what way you want to put it. We put foots in them today. Yeah. Put foots all in them today. Wasn't doing no plan. That wasn't a win. That was a statement. That was a statement, right? Of course, they went down to 10 men. But if you watched the game and if you didn't, this is why you here. I'm here to let you know. We was on their neck from the jump, right? The game started off a little bit back and forth, but primarily favoring us, right? And that second yellow came as a result of us constantly putting pressure on their high line. Man, before we really go into it, I don't want to hear no disrespects. I don't want to hear no disrespect to my manager, man. To my manager, Big Maresca, Chef Maresca. They tried to play him. They tried to play him when they were here in America, talking about, hey, are y'all prepared to play for long periods without the ball? Are y'all prepared to suffer since y'all won't have the ball? Bro looked that reporter right in his eyes and said, "Who said that? Come on now, stop playing with that man. That man knows what to do. That man knows what to do in big games, big occasions. He lives for the big game." And on that note, let's just get right into the goals, man. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen in the Blue Empire, we were on their throats from the beginning, right? We had 2 goals disallowed within the first 25 minutes. 2. Come on now. Matter of fact, maybe 3. I believe 2. Emotions still running high. Excuse me. You know, I'm getting old. My memory kind of runs from me sometimes. But what I do remember, right? What I do remember is us putting so much pressure on them. We get a nice little corner, right? And there's been a lot of, I'm not gonna say there's been a lot, but for me personally, right? I've been paying a lot of attention to what our set piece coach has been doing, because it was put a pretty big emphasis was put on pulling him away from Brentford, and we scored more set pieces than we have this. Well, we scored more set pieces this year than we have, in our recent history. But we haven't been doing a whole lot of eccentric stuff, right? We really been attacking that near post, right? I believe we scored all of our corner goals from attacking the near post, right, and flicking it back on to someone. But today, I don't know if they were saving some of that stuff. I believe they maybe should have saved it for Arsenal, since Arsenal is so good at them. We kind of gave them film. But anyway, right? Because we started doing some different things, right? We started running some, looked like we was running some plays out there. But anyway, right, we take this one short. Boom, gets to Garnacho, who's over there on that corner, on that, like, that elbow of the box. He slides it in real quick to Cucurella coming down the byline. And for all the good that Cucurella does, he's not a very expansive passer. I think we can say that. That's one part of his game that's just like, that's not top notch. All of the other responsibilities that he has, he's one of the best in the world at, right? But right here, he did his thing. He did that low driven cross, right? You know that L1 R1 square, yeah, on PlayStation. He hit one of those, right? And to who? No, you don't know who. Pedro Neto, right? Pedro Neto in good position, tries to do a little back heel type situation, right? And gets a good amount of power on it. Gets just enough power on it that even though Jules Koundé blocks it, it squeaks in, right? So maybe they'll give it to Pedro Neto in like the post game, but for now, it's an own goal on Jules Koundé, and it was fully deserved. Nothing against the run of play at all. We had been severely on their neck, right? Now that second goal, hey, there is no more speculation. There is no more if he acclimatizes well. There is no more is he ready. Estevão Willian is the real deal. He is the real deal for sure. Some Chelsea fans, but including myself, have been real excited for him, right? Ever since we first started hearing about him, right? I went to go look up some videos about him and saw the type of things that he was doing, and I was excited. But I've also seen those type of videos before, right? I'm old enough to remember videos of people like Hulk, right? I'm old enough to remember videos of people like Neymar who did end up like, being one of those ones, right? Kennedy, right? Lucas Piazon. We've seen people who are doing big things back in their home nation, right, come over to Europe and maybe not do horribly, but not reach the heights that have been touted for them. It looks like if he stays healthy and continues on the path that he's on, Estevão Willian will be in Ballon d'Or contention, and I'm not afraid to say that at this point. He scores a near identical goal to the one he scored against us in the Club World Cup. Now, what that says about his future, I don't want to get into that. I'm not down with that juju right now. But I will say this game has a way of being storybook, right? One of the best parts about all sports is the storylines, and I think if he does end up leaving us, we've been signing our players to these death row contracts, 7-year contracts, 10-year contracts. So hopefully, we get them read up after like year 3-4, so where he spends majority of his prime with us. But anyway, if he does end up leaving, right, I think that you can look at the goal he scored against us. It's a precursor to coming to us. And then look at the goal he scored for us against Barcelona, maybe as a precursor to going to them. But we're not talking about that. We experiencing him right now in the flesh for us. I am thankful that he is on our team, because boy, is he something special. When you lace up the boots to play fullback against Estevão Willian, I hope you bring your lunch pail. I hope you had good rest the night before. I hope you ate a good meal, because he's not letting up. Every time he gets the ball and he sees that he's isolated with his fullback, he's coming with that smoke. It does not matter. He does not care. He is going to try you, and if you win that 1v1, cool. Guess what's going to happen if he gets you again? He's coming right at you. He's coming right at you. You know, he's been touted as, you know, little Messi or the next Neymar. And he does have skill, kind of like Neymar, right? But Ney was very like skill heavy early on in his career. Still, you know, even later in his career, pretty skill heavy. But and maybe as, you know, Estevão comes into his own more, like, or becomes that grown man figure, because, you know, he plays like a man, but he's still like this kid is 18. This kid is 18. What was you doing when you was 18? I know what I was doing when I was 18. I wasn't balling like that. I thought I was a good American football player. I thought I was a little bit decent. But it wasn't. Nowhere in my dreams could I have been close and as an American football player to what he is as a world football player right now. It's absolutely crazy to see, and I love that he's on our team. Shouts out to our scouting department. Shouts out to our sporting directors. Shouts out to our owners. Shouts out to Clear Lake, Todd Bowley, Bedad Agbali for going and getting it done. You can say what you want to say about the way that they do things, and no, it's not perfect. Yes, we had some hiccups in the beginning, right? But every year, just like our team gets better, they get better, right? And the fruits of their labors are starting to show. But anyway, I did all this glazing about Estevão. Let's talk about his goal, man. I'm gonna be real with you. I was so enamored by the goal, I don't even remember the build up to it, man. I just know Estevão gets that fullback 1v1, right? Dribbles straight at him. Just like I said, he relentlessly is going to go at his man, right? Swivels out, swivels in, gets on that man's inside hip, right? And I think he was setting. I gotta believe he was setting that up, because every time he would get on that inside hip, he would kind of banana out towards the center of the box. He stayed tight to that man's hip, attacked that near post, fired it in, right foot, pew, top corner. I don't know if Prime Manuel Neuer is saving that. I don't know if Prime Petr Cech, if Prime Iker Casillas, Thibaut. I don't know. Yes.
What you doing?
But yeah, this kid is something else. He's him. He's one of those ones, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, he isolates his man, beats him effortlessly, cuts inside with ridiculous confidence, and finishes like a star. This kid is special, man. This kid is special. Let's go over that third goal. Third goal is probably at that point in the game, you know, I'm high off life. I'm high off the way that we were playing, right? You know, at this point, Barca's down to 10 men, right? They pretty much know the game is over. Their talisman, their 18-year-old talisman, the counterpart to ours, Lamine Yamal has not been having a good game, not been having a lot of joy in this game due to the efforts of Marc Cucurella. But you know, we continue to express control of the game and try to find exploits in that high line when we can. And at this point, we do. The young man who controlled the game for us against Burnley, who came on, Andre Santos, wins the ball back in midfield, releases it to Pedro Neto, and you know, he creeps up, buying his time, releases, or I guess sends Enzo through. And you know what Enzo does. Enzo has transformed himself into Enzo Frank Lampard Fernandez. He has a clear opportunity on goal, but this is one thing that I can't say enough about Reece and Enzo, but in this instance, Enzo, he's a leader, man. He's a leader. He has a clear opportunity on goal, but he has the wherewithal, right? The awareness to understand that Liam Delap, who didn't have that good of a game against Burnley, who, like I said in the last video, is a bit rusty and could really use the confidence of his first goal for the team, he slides that man a cookie, right? He still has to finish because the goalkeeper actually reacts to him pretty well and gets out there, but slides it over to him when Enzo could very clearly take the shot, right? He also, right, could serve one up for Estevão because Estevão was coming on the other side of the lap, but he slides it right over to the lap, gives him an opportunity to put one away, and the lap does exactly that. He slots it right on the right side netting. Easy, nice and smooth little goal to get his confidence running. Team goal, but I think the best part about that goal, obviously, is the 3-0, putting them away, putting that stamp on the game, right? Because 1-0, right, you're happy with that. Of course, you're happy with winning, getting the 3 points, especially against a team like Barcelona, right? But 1-0, you're happy with that. 2-0, oh yeah, we're really happy about that. But 3-0 is an expression of dominance, right? When it's 1-0, something can go wrong, right? The ball can just bounce their way, right? Or we can have something unlucky for us happen and they can steal a point. 2-0, that's a little less likely, but 3-0, that really shows because, at the end of the day, as time goes on, people are going to look at scores, right? That's one thing about this climate right now. People really look at GA. People kind of look at scores. They don't watch the games as much, right? And even if it was just 1-0, you could watch the game and you can see that we dominated. But that 3-0, that third goal, really put that stamp on it. That even if you didn't watch the goal, you just go look at the box score, you look at the highlights, you see we handled business. And I'm very proud of the boys and proud of Enzo for recognizing that he had the opportunity to lay one out there for my man Liam and got him on the score sheet. I just want to go over a couple of performances that I want to give praise to today. First off, you already know I started the video with him. He's a part of the thumbnail. Estevão. Let's talk about him. Estevão is a legitimate star in the making, a rising star in this game. And I just pray, right, that the injury bug escapes him, right? That it never comes his way, that it never touches him. I pray for Eden Hazard level of fitness while he was at Chelsea. Cause yeah, this kid is gonna do crazy things. I believe he's now our joint top scorer with 5. Him and Pedro Neto. 18 years old on a huge stage, the world stage, right? He's performed in the Club World Cup. He's performed in the Premier League, and now he has performed on probably the most high-profile game in the Champions League this week. Completely outshining his counterpart, Lamine Yamal. Crazy poised on the dribble, fearless in attack, relentless with his pressure on the fullback. He held down the right wing like he owns it. Marc Cucurella. I'm gonna say it right now. He's the best left back in the world at the moment. Without a shadow of a doubt. Had Yamal in his pocket the entire game. World-class performance. I can't say There's not too much to say because he shows up every week and he handles business, right? Is he going to pop up with an assist every now and again? Yes. Is he going to pop up with a goal every now and again? As a matter of fact, last year during our down period, who was coming up with the goals to save us? It was Mark Cucurella. Hey, another piece of recruitment that's bared fruit last year, as a matter of fact, but still great from the best left back in the world right now, without a doubt. And the third big performance I want to give praise to is far and away my manager. This man is a big game coach. We seen it. PSG 3-0. Handle business. Barcelona 3-0. Handle business. And not only is he a big game coach, right? He a big game coach with the balls to stand on what he believes in, to stand on the principles of the way he wants to play. Again, I'm gonna go back to this quote. I don't know how many times. As long as this man is here at this club, and as long as he continues to do this type of thing, I'm gonna reach back in the bag for this quote. Who said that? Who said that? Enzo, who said that? Maresca. Hey, my man, it took a lot of balls, big ones, to pull up to the park with no recognized striker, right? Yeah, maybe the decision was a little bit easier to make after the game that Joao and Liam had against Burnley. But still, if his plan doesn't go well, right, after starting Neto, you already know what the pundits are going to say, what the online personalities are going to say. They're going to say, oh, he's a bottle job. He's a championship manager. He doesn't know how to cut it in the big time. Blah, 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 blah. Nah, that man know exactly what he's doing. He played Pedro Neto as striker to help take advantage of that high line. He was like, he strikes the ball well, he works hard, and he's got speed in abundance. He made the bold call starting without a recognized striker specifically to exploit Barcelona's high line and was rewarded for it. Fortune favors the bold, and Enzo Maresca is bold. All right, I'm gonna go over a couple more performances really quickly, real short and sweet. Malo Gusto, right? Enzo's gadget guy. Every coach has that one guy that they love. I think for Poch it was Conor Gallagher, right? For Sarri it was what's my man name? Jorginho, Conte. For us, N'Golo, but overall, Lukaku. I believe Malo Gusto is that guy for Enzo. I think Enzo really trusts Malo Gusto. I think Enzo really values his tactical versatility. And where we may not feel like, he has those things in abundance. Enzo clearly sees something on the training ground because he deploys him, right, in a couple of different roles. He just does the job for him. And Enzo has earned my trust, so I trust Malo. Malo did pretty well today. He didn't have an amazing game, but he did exactly what he needed to do. And clean, smart, high energy performance. You can't ask for nothing else. Reece James, our captain, one of our own, straight from the academy, straight out of Cobham. You know what this man brings when he's on the field. Calm, poised, strong, leader, dangerous. He had one strike today that I thought was destined for the top corner, but not quite. He got a little too under it. But the way that thing moved, if you watch American baseball, the way that ball moved, it was like a cutter, you know, that a pitcher throws. It just rose a little bit too high. But we're gonna have a Reece James banger pretty soon. I can feel it. But yeah, he's developed into a rock in our midfield, or at right back or at right center back. It doesn't matter where this man plays, he's gonna perform. And that's all we ask of that, and he stays healthy. Those are the two things we ask from him. We ask him to hold it down, and we ask him to stay healthy, and he does that every time. Enzo Fernández, we know what this man brings to the table. Vocal, demanding. He sets the tone in the midfield, sets the tempo, right? Like I said in the last video, people want him to be that metronomic figure. He wants him to be that regista. He is. He's just not at the base of the midfield. He pops up on either side of the midfield, and he sets the tempo. He sets the tone. He runs the game. Granted, now I was really interested to see our midfield versus Barcelona's midfield, but I will concede that they didn't have Pedri, and Pedri is their main midfielder. I know Frankie was still there. Fermin Lopez was there, but Pedri is the one. Him and Frankie together are the two that make that team really tick, and they didn't have him today. But with all that being said, Enzo, of course, was prime Enzo today, and we love to see it. Like I said earlier, that unselfishness assist says everything about this man. He's going to pop up with the goals, but he also has that presence of mind, right? That presence of mind to know, hey, I need to get this man involved because he needs to fire so that we all can prosper. Love it. Wes and Trev today, can't say nothing bad about them. Solid center back partnership, right? I think everyone knows that in a perfect world, or in our most optimum lineup is probably Levi and Wes right there together. But obviously Levi is out for the season. But Wes, is on. He's on. I'm not gonna say the road to recovery, but he's on that Reece James plan, right? That we're gonna protect you from yourself, right? We're not gonna overuse you. But when we deploy you on that field, we need you to be a weapon, and that's what he was today. Had an assist on a goal disallowed, because he chested it down, but also kind of like popped it with his arm. But he was a live wire. He was running. He was doing exactly what I wanted to see from him. He was living up to his price tag, and I believe if he stays healthy, we'll see a lot more performances like we did today. Trev is pretty polarizing. He's one of our own. He's straight out of Cobham, but sometimes you don't necessarily know what you're going to get. It's so hard because I believe that what I just said shouldn't be true, because he plays so well most of the time, but every now and again, he goes through a couple bad patches. But one thing about him, every single manager that has been here since he's been in the first team uses him, right? Relies on him, and that can't go ignored. But they were both composed, disciplined, handled every transition, and I love a defender who loves to defend. It doesn't matter what game it is. Basketball, football, American football, baseball, defenders who love to defend are some of my favorite players to watch. I love to see Trev make that slide tackle, even though the game's well in hand, make that slide tackle and get up roaring because he loves to do what he's there to do, and that's defend. Love to see that. And last but not least, I want to give a shout out to Garnacho, another polarizing figure. We are full of polarizing figures, and I'm here for it. You know, I want to say he looked sharp. For the most part, he did. His touch, I'm starting to notice his touch does fail him a little bit. Hopefully that is the main thing that he works on, or the main thing that our coaching staff works on him with. But his touch failed him a little bit. Not horrible touches, just not the perfect touch to set him up for the strike, if you can feel what I'm saying. But one thing that man's gonna bring you is good movement. Every time, good movement. He's not the 1v1 specialist like Estevão is. I wouldn't even say he's as good 1v1 as someone like Pedro Neto or what Nani was, or Jamie. But he is just as relentless as Estevão. You know, he's gonna run at that touchline. He's gonna cut back. If you look at underlying data on Garnacho, right, and I believe this is the reason that we have taken this flyer on him. He shoots the ball, right? He gets it. He has great movement, great off-ball movement. He shoots the ball a ton, and he cuts the ball back a ton. And today, that's what he was doing, primarily cutbacks. And on a different day, I think he's man of the match. On another day where his touch, you know, is that perfect touch, I think he gets a shot off. I think he gets a couple more shots off. I think he gets a goal. But I also think he, on a different day, that cutback that he had to Andre Santos is not an offside. But yeah, he looked good. Touch let him down a bit today, like I said. But on another day, he might have walked away with man in the match. And I truly Chelsea team is growing right in front of our eyes. In the last video, I expressed that win over Burnley was much bigger than what it seemed, because it was justification, right, that they're not the young guns anymore, even though we are one of the youngest teams in the league, and right now the youngest team in the Champions League competition, right. We're slowly but surely maturing, and it was a mature performance all the way around. The intensity, the structure, the discipline, it's the real deal. You know, we're not there to the Chelsea of old, and when I say Chelsea of old, you know I'm talking about our original spine of the Terry, Lampard, Ashley Cole, Petr Cech, Drogba days, right? But we're on our way. We're on our way. We are far and away from the spineless Graham Potter led days, but we're gonna keep moving along. And one thing that you can see. Right, this team likes to play with each other. The chemistry is there. The chemistry is building. There are spots within the team there I think chemistry still needs to be built, i.e. Pedro Neto and João Pedro. A couple other spots just to get on the same wavelength. Not saying that they don't like each other, right? But I think their games need a little more time to mesh. But this team loves playing with each other. I think everybody has each other's back. I think everybody wants to see everybody succeed, right? And you would say, duh, they're a team, but trust and believe, I can tell you sometimes some of your biggest haters are closest to you. And I don't sniff any of that in our team. I think everybody loves playing with each other, and I think that is a part of what our top brass is building. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. We're building something special here at this football club, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to watch it come to fruition. All right, now we move, man. We done took care of two of the three in this big week, and the last test is coming up, right? We had the quiz, we had the midterm, and now we got the final exam, right? The final exam of the week. We got Arsenal, and they're a good team. They're a good team. London's still blue, but they're a good team, right? I watched them pump Tottenham Hotspurs. But, you know, I got a lot of belief in this team. I got a lot of belief in our manager, my manager, Enzo, who said that Maresca, Chef Maresca, because Maresca cooked today. He cooked. He got that pot. Put that little hat on. Y'all know what James Harden used to do. That's what Enzo Maresca was on today. But I believe he'll cook something up for Arsenal as well. It's going to be a much tougher game than today. It's not going to be as free flowing. Arsenal's line is high, but not as high as that. But also Arsenal has a lot more defenders of a higher level than Barcelona does. But yeah, if we bring this level of intensity and bravery, coupled with the maturity that we brought against Burnley, I think we can surprise some people. It's also going to be at home at the Bridge. So, hey, anything can happen. In terms of the lineup, I don't know. I think I might do a video leading up to it on what I think the lineup will be. Do we see Cole? On Sunday? I had a sneaky suspicion that he would be on the bench for this game. He was not. So I don't know exactly what that means for him. I think he might be on the bench for Sunday though. Be crazy if he just popped up in the starting lineup, but that's unlikely. But yeah, big test on Sunday, and we're coming.